journey started off with Rang De Basanti. Quite honestly, like I watched Rang De Basanti. I've watched it numerous times, and I can tell you I was focused on all of the other people, right? And I'm sure you've heard this as well. But I think I first took notice of you. I know that a lot of the accolades that you received were for Stree, but I actually first noticed you, like, really stood out in my mind in Dreamgirl, in the role of
Hmm.
the brother of
Okay.
Nusrat
Okay.
Bhuja. And I just found you so endearing. I just found the character that you played so endearing. I mean, when you look back at your journey, the headspace that you were in, Rang De Basanti, to now, and of course you're a casting director as well. What was your headspace like? Do you even remember what your headspace was like back then? And what is your headspace like now?
No, yeah, I totally remember, and I think when I went and did that small part in Rang De Basanti, I think the idea was to just go and you know do my best as an actor, and that's the same thing today. I think whenever I hear that action, for me, that's the moment. Like that's the moment where I have to like really give my 200% and focus completely there. So that passion of acting, whether it was Rang De Basanti, I think I feel the same happiness when I'm on set,
Mm.
and I feel the same kind of excitement when I'm able to act. So I think that's not changed at all. And yeah, coincidentally, after Patholog, everybody started talking about Rang De Basanti, that one scene, and
Yeah.
I was like, really, like I could never imagine in my wildest of dreams that people will actually somehow dig in that one scene and bring it back. So well, one of the seniors, I don't remember who, but I met one of the senior actors during a casting process, like during audition and something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have seen him in many movies. He was the main villain in Shiva. I forgot his name. So I asked that gentleman that what's the key to success? Like, what's the key to be surviving in the industry? And he said, just keep doing your best, because whenever you do something nice, people will remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'm very happy that some of my admirers, they love Stree, and they would still write and say that we love you as Jana more, or Jana is our favorite character, or someone like you who would say that for you, I think the standout role was Dreamgirl. I actually think that Dreamgirl, the first half, I acted really well. That's what I feel, because it was very difficult to pull that off in that kind of a chaotic script, because the
Mm-hmm.
script was chaotic, and I chose to be actually I chose to underplay the
Mm.
chaos, especially in the first half. So it was very tricky, and I'm glad that somebody noticed that. And of course, so for me, whether it was Tree, whether it was Bala, whether it is this, I think every time it was all this excitement about doing something, and maybe people will like it, or maybe they won't like it. I don't know, but the excitement is always there.
Mm. I mean, you've mentioned now Patholog, so we can't look back anymore. Uh, Patholog is one of those series that, quite frankly, I don't think there's a single person I know who has given it a bad review. It's received rave reviews, and what I mean by that is the highest of praise has been attributed to that series. What is interesting is that people are calling you by the character's name, right? You're not
Hmm,
Abhishek
hmm,
Banerjee for
hmm,
anyone.
hmm.
It's become one of those
Yeah.
characters that I think is going to live on for quite some time, and it's quite iconic. But I quite frankly, I was very disturbed by like how much gore you were able to portray on screen. I I wanted to ask you, when you are doing a scene, like depicting a murder, you are sort of like slashing at a guy. What's going through your head? Are you in a completely different zone? Do you snap out of it right away once cut is called? Do you take it home with you? What is going through your mind?
In this particular scene which you're talking about with reference to Patal Lok, I think I'll tell you what was going in my mind. I
Hmm.
think See, I am an actor, but more than that, I think I'm also a citizen of country. And when we read newspapers, and I've stayed in Delhi, so Delhi, the women crimes and everything was really high, and I think it was a day-to-day life, when a woman would be a little scared to step out, and how my wife just was telling me that it's not fair that women in Delhi have to get back at home at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. The curfews at home. There's this panic around. So I grew up in that panic, whether I was ever with my female friend walking on the road, or if it's late and I'm going to drop her. And I know that there was always this tension in the air because
Hmm.
Delhi was known for its crimes against women. And then when you grow up, like when you lived your life, you grow up with that frustration, as somebody who feels that this is, I don't know where this is coming from and why this is coming from and what makes the men in the society to behave like that,
Hmm.
whether it's their parents or whether it's their mental thought. I don't know what that is, but some of us are really, really angry. It's pissing off, basically. It's pissing off to
Hmm.
see how the reactions are. It's pissing off to see how people forget these crimes so easily. So I have grown up with a lot of frustration. There's a lot of anger which you feel, and the thing is, you can't do anything about it. Of course, like you can't do anything about it. Just by the only thing we can do is the armchair protest, where we're writing on social media,
Hmm.
sitting at our homes. What happened is, I think when Tyagi, when I knew about this scene, I was trying to understand how do I get this violence out from me. How do I do something which feels gruesome, or the people get gored out or whatever. How do I get it? So then somewhere all the anger, which was, I think, dwelling for all these years, and the things which you can't do as a common man, you can't do anything,
Hmm.
but as a character I could. So whatever you see was sheer rage of not only Hatora Tyagi, but also me as an individual in the society. And after a point, what happens is that when you're doing that, you want to make it look so violent and so ugly that whoever is watching that at home, gets some kind of, I don't know, threat from a character. At
Hmm.
least those images stay with you.
Yes.
So it's a threat. So I wanted to give that threat as an actor.
Hmm.
And no, I think I always snap out of it very easily. But
Hmm.
yes, it's tiring. It's tiring. It's exhausting. And thank God, what happens is that when you perform that kind of a scene, somewhere, somewhere your subconscious starts feeling relaxed, and you start feeling that maybe just by this medium, where you're communicating with the audience, so pan
Hmm.
India is going to watch it,
Hmm.
international people are going to watch it. Maybe somewhere I have avenged my thoughts, my
Hmm.
problems. So it's not only the character, it's also the personality. So that's why I think that makes it more gruesome, that makes it more meaningful. That's why I think there's so much meaning to that killing, and it's not just about bashing somebody's head. I think all of that I could feel from inside, and yeah, now I don't want to think about it.
Makes sense. I feel like getting into that headspace would be,
Yeah,
for me, it would be damning because I don't think I'd be able to
yeah.
get out of it for some time. But Abhishek, you mentioned in a previous interview, I was watching some of your interviews, and you mentioned that you've received a lot of feedback, and it's actually led to a lot of conversations with a lot of people that you're surrounded with. What has been the most scintillating conversation you've had? What has been the feedback that you've received that you've really taken to heart? One that has really stood out in your mind, and who was it? Who was it with?
It was with this actor called Ashok Pathak. He
Hmm.
he has acted in some of the films, and which is like some Bollywood films. He's a good actor. I know him also because I'm a casting director.
Right.
He's not my friend. He's not somebody who I have interacted earlier, and he's not someone I talk to. I know him, uh, but I don't talk to him. I don't have any relationship with him. And out of the blue, he calls me, and he starts talking to me about the character and how he felt the pain and everything. And what happens is that as actors, I think that we're very emotional beings.
Hmm.
We understand each other's emotions, we understand each other's sentiments, and
Hmm.
that's why I think we relate to the characters so well. When we can understand the character, that's when we relate to it, and that's where we get the pain, the grief, the anger, the love, whatever. So this guy, he starts admiring my work, and then he starts breaking down. And he broke down, and he started talking about the pain of the character, and
Hmm.
it touched me because that's exactly how I felt when I was preparing for the part. So as
Hmm.
an actor, that's exactly what happened to me. I started breaking down. I couldn't understand how somebody is living with so much pain.
Hmm.
Because when I questioned Vishal Tyagi and his existence, I didn't find any reason. There was no reason for him to be alive,
Hmm.
because he has so
That's
much
true.
inside. So that when he felt that, another actor felt that, and he was bonding with me just about a conversation. It's not that I've become friends with him after that or something like that. It's just
Hmm.
one conversation from an actor to another actor, and he felt something. And that, for me, that metaphysical
Hmm.
connection, I think, for me, was like an achievement as an actor
Hmm.
myself, because that's what happened to me maybe when I saw Black Swan. When I saw Natalie Portman doing that, if I knew her, I would have done, like, called her and told her that I could
Right.
completely understand what you went through.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was special.
You mentioned that actors sort of feel each other's pain, and it's been a long journey for you. Obviously, you have sort of the second turnaround as well, in the sense that you're a casting director. So you are also used to telling people, this is not working out. And part of being a casting director is it's not as though you're judging the acting; you're judging whether or not this person is going to fit the character that you have in mind. So you yourself being casting director, does it change your perspective when you've had rejections, when you have faced lows as an actor? Has that changed your perspective at all, or is the emotion still the same?
No, emotions are still the same, but maybe I know how to come out of it now better.
Hmm.
So I think the next morning I'm okay with it, because I have rejected so many people. So for me, rejection has become a part of my life. And so I think because of that, because I know that I'm giving the pain to people, so I can take some. So it's okay.
Right.
So yeah, I'm okay with it now. I've made peace with it.
So Patholog, Stree, Dream Girl, so many iconic roles in the last, I'd say, year and a half, 2 years. Is there a path that you have in mind, or so a lot of actors say it's I'm looking for projects, I'm looking for roles that challenge me, but I find that a lot of actors, part of success, so to speak, as an actor is planning and preparing. So is there a path that you have in mind, or do you just want to take every day as it comes?
Yeah, I want to take as it comes, because I don't want to think about it too much.
Mm,
I don't want to plan my acting. I don't want to plan my characters, because
mm,
that's the beauty of it. I never had any clue that I'm going to do Jana, or I'm going to do Mahinder, or Hathoda
right.
Tyagi, for that matter. So I had no clue. This is not planned at all. So I don't want to plan further also. I want to be, and the best part is that I don't need to maybe convince filmmakers that I can act now. I think that there's that respect and that trust, I think, at least for my craft, which they will have. So for me now, the time is to, like, just be patient, and let's see how universe gets another character to me. I'm just waiting for that. I'm curious, actually.
Well, Abhishek, thank you so much for taking out time to speak to me. I really do appreciate it. The very best of luck with everything that you're doing, and hopefully we'll be able to keep in touch with future
Yes.
projects. And you are definitely one of the people that people are taking notice of. And finally, I think that actors are coming out and not just stars. So I definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you.